Okay, in this video, we will talk about how to configure static captain in Splunk searched cluster. So if you remember from my previous video, we talked about a incident where a searched cluster captain steps down because it detected that majority of the members is not running, right, or not up basically. So it stepped down as a captain, so that means the cluster will not function until and unless majority of the members are joining to that cluster, and they elected a captain over there, right? And we also saw, right, when majority of the members joining that cluster, a captain election process occurs. Okay, so that captain election process basically elected a captain automatically, because in Splunk searched cluster, the default behavior is the dynamic captaincy over there, right? Now, a- as you also remember, I talked about in that video is like when this kind of scenario occurs, like when a captain steps down and you do not have any other way to make this member up, okay, for certain amount of time. In that case, maybe we can look for a static captain election process, or maybe to configure a static captain over there. Now there are a lot of drawbacks for that static captain, but it is the way. It should be used only when it needed. Generally, Splunk recommends the dynamic captaincy every time. Okay, so if I just talk about before we start working on the static captain configuration. Okay, so if I just talk about the different static captain related shortcomings, okay, or cons of static captaincy. Okay, static captain, the first thing is it is the single point of failure, right? It is single point of failure, because if you see the behavior of the dynamic captaincy, when the captain goes down, even the same thing I discussed in my previous video as well, right? When the captain goes down, automatically it triggers a captain election process, and it elected a new captain over there. And in Splunk searched cluster, everything is managed by the captain over there, right? The replication stuff, the running of the dispatch of different schedule searches, those stuff, a lot of stuff which has been performed by the captain, right? So without captain, the cluster will not be functioning at all. So whenever we configure a static captain, so static captain means the dynamic captaincy, that feature will be turned off, right? So if the static captain goes down, the cluster will not automatically elect a new captain over there, right? So that means the we are talking about a single point of failure over here, right? The second thing is, and which will be very obvious, because if you remember, right, so we created this situation by just Splunk stop of this two instances, right? Search 3 and 4, I think, that as far I remember. Okay, two searches, we just stop the Splunk over there, so that time the existing captain steps down, because only two searches was running that time. And if you remember previously as well, when I configured this whole searched cluster, right, so we have to give a replication factor over here as well, right? Replication factor means the how many numbers of search artifacts basically we are storing in our cluster, right? So we have given 3 over there. That means at least we need to have a 3 instance in our cluster to store those artifacts over there, right? So when 2 instances were down and we are configuring a static captain over here, that configuration will be successful, because static captain does not check for the replication factor level of searches are running or not. Okay, so those type of checks it do not do over there. Okay, so that means static captain will not check for replication, check whether enough number of members are running, double N I N G, running, to meet the replication factor. Okay, so this is very important, meet the replication factor. So So that means if you always configure static captain in your cluster, you will always run for a risk where you will never know whether this many replication number of factors of search heads are running or not in your cluster over there. Okay, so these are the some kind of cons of the static captain. That's why it is always recommended that you use dynamic captain over there. Okay, but based on situation, sometimes we need to use static captain for temporary purpose. Okay, so that our cluster will be function for the time period, then we'll move back to dynamic captaincy again. Okay, we'll see that example now. So for that, what I'll do is I will just log into all of this search heads first. Okay, we'll see the initial configurations, and then we will try to create that situation. Okay, where we have no other way but to configure a static captain to make that cluster functioning. Okay, and then we will see like what else we can do with that one. So let us wait for one minute to key transfer happen. I think search head 1 is already up, so I'll just do a sudo su. Okay, I will clear the prompt clear. Okay, I will go to Splunk home bin folder. Okay, so I always go to this one because like whenever I run some that Splunk command, right, so it will be easier to understand. Even you can directly give this path and Splunk and run any command over there, but because it will be easier to understand, that's why I'm doing like this. Okay, so if I just see Splunk show sh cluster status, right, so this command we used to use to get the status of the current cluster, right? So let us see what is there, because I always play around with this one. Okay, so this is our search head 1, which is current captain over there. And if you see, there is one thing we should be looking at it now, is called the dynamic captain. If you see, it is a dynamically elected captain. That's why the dynamic underscore captain value is 1 over here. Okay, this is important stuff, and we have four search head members over here. Okay, so search head 1, 2, 3 and 4, so which are all are in cluster. Okay, why it is behaving something like this? Okay, something. Okay, so all the instances are up, and if you see search head 1, it is showing automatic detention. Don't worry about it, because there is some space issue with this particular instance, so that's why it is showing up automatic detention, but it is in cluster. Okay, so so let us continue over there. So what I'll do now is, as 1 is our captain over there, right? So in that case, I will turn off 4 and 3. Okay, search head. So for that, we will go to, this is our search head 3. Okay, this is our search head 3 over here. So sudo su clear. We will again go to Splunk home bin folder. Okay, we will Splunk stop. Okay, so we turned off a search head 3. That means among 4 search heads, one search head is down over here, right? So again, we have majority number of instances are running, so captain will not step down. So if I just see this guy again, the search head cluster status, it will still show that one. Okay, because it takes a certain amount of time to replicate this stuff over there. Okay, but this cluster will be still functioning. That is what I'm trying to say over here. Okay, so let us wait for 1 minute over here. Okay, let us run it again. So if you see, search head 3 is down now. Okay, so once search head is gone, so let us go to our search head 4. Sudo su cd/opt Splunk bin. Okay, I will clear the screen. I will stop the Splunk over here. Okay, so So our searched 4 is also down now, right? So that means among four searcheds, our two searcheds are down. So that means the captain will automatically step down over here, right? So we are hitting that situation where my captain is stepping down, my cluster is not functioning over here. Okay, so let us try to see it. So if I just see, okay, again it will take certain amount of time. Let us see again whether it is okay. So it is down now, because if you see when I run this searched cluster status, because our captain has stepped down, so the cluster is not functioning now. Okay, and let's say this three searched 3 and searched 4 will take certain amount of time to recover. Okay, so in that case what we can do is we can make one of this instance searched 1 or searched 2 as a static captain over here. Okay, so to make an instance as a static captain, what we do is we'll first clear the prompt so that we'll understand clearly. We'll run a command. Let's say this is our searched 1, right? So previously one was also our captain, so let us do it in searched 2 this time. Okay, so we will just sudo to su, we will go to Splunk bin folder, we will clear the prompt. Okay, so now what we'll do is we will make this searched 2 as new captain, a static captain over here. We'll run this command Splunk edit, okay, sh cluster config. Okay, if you remember this particular command we discussed a lot of times in my previous videos when we elected a or we basically configured a searched cluster over there, right? Now this command, the same command we'll be using, but with its slightly different inputs over here now. Okay, so sh cluster config, the mode, there is a input called mode over here. So the mode will be captain. Okay, because we are electing manually searched 2 as captain now. Okay, and there is another input called captain URI, captain underscore URI over here. Okay, so the captain URI is basically we have to give the URI of the captain which you are basically electing as a captain. So as this is searched 2 only we are electing as a captain, so we'll be giving the link of the searched 2 over here. Okay, so we will be giving as full URI https, okay, colon / searched 2. Let us try to copy this external IP address over here. Okay, so we have to go to searched 2, we are copying that one, then management port over here. So we have given the captain URI over here, right? Now this is important, the next input called election. Okay, so this election input will be false over here. This input will basically tell us this is a static captain, not a dynamic captain over here. Okay, for dynamic captain election will be always true, which we'll see in future, just a couple of minutes from now. Okay, so we have to log in over here, we have to give our password over here. So mode is not supported by this handler. Okay, it has to be a single dash. I have given double dash over here. HTTPS. Okay, I am really good in spelling mistake. Okay, so the searched cluster config property has been edited over here. Now one good thing is, if you remember, after running this kind of command we used to restart Splunk, right? Here you do not need to restart any Splunk over there. Okay, so this is a captain, we just elected a static captain. Now we have to tell other active members, okay, right, this searched 2 is my current captain now. Okay, so talk to him. So for that what we'll have to do is we'll have to go to searched 1 now, because only this 1 and 2 is alive currently in our system, right? So we'll go to 1 now. So if I just still run that searched cluster status, it will still throw me error, because the static captain configuration is still not still not completed over there, okay, because one still don't know it. There is a static captain called 2 which we already configured. So to let the one know, okay, what we need to do is over here we will run the same searched cluster config with a different mode now, okay. So now let us run this command again. Splunk edit sh cluster config, okay. So now my mode will be member over here, okay. So this is basically we are statically configuring a member over here, okay. And my captain underscore URI will be the URI of the captain, so which is our searched 2 over here, right. So we will copy the correct one here, okay. We'll go to searched 1, we will paste it out. Oh my god, captain URI https:// so we have to give our searched 2, so okay, :8089 over here, okay. So 221.204 is our searched 2 over here, okay. So we have given the captain URI over here, and again we will be giving election as false, okay. So we are basically telling this member is there is a captain already statical, we have configured statically, okay, and then you have to report to that captain. Now if I just run the searched cluster status, now see my cluster is in function now, right. Previously it was throwing me error, but now it is functioning properly, okay. But without those searched 3 and 4, right. That means if you see this cluster is not checking for the replication number of instances are running or not, otherwise this would have thrown an error over here, right. So we basically configured a captain statically, okay, until and unless our searched 3 and 4 are coming up, okay. Now let us say searched 3 and 4 are joining this team over here, okay. So if you remember from my previous video when I talked about that how the dynamic captain election process works over there, right. Whenever I started the Splunk of searched 3 and 4, which was basically previously removed from the cluster by stopping that particular instance, not deleting the configuration over there, whenever I am starting the particular instance over there, right, it will automatically join that cluster over there, right. Now as in this case we have configured a static captain over here, right. So that searched 3 and 4 will not join automatically this cluster until and unless I am telling by running the same command over here, okay, that this is my current captain which is statically configured, you should report to that. So for that what I'll do is I will copy this command over here, I will paste it somewhere, I'll keep it over here, okay. So now first we will start the Splunk of searched 3, Splunk start, let it do its work, Splunk start here, okay. So let's wait for a minute. I think it should not take more than a minute to start it, okay. We'll come back. Okay, our searched 4 and our searched 3 is up now. So let us first test it out whether they join this cluster or not, which they should not. That is what we are expecting over here. As you have seen over here, they have not joined this particular cluster over here now, right. So until and unless we are running that, we are configuring that static captain into these two instances, they will definitely not join this particular cluster over here, okay. So I will run the same command, Splunk edit sh cluster config mode member and the captain URI and the election false in searched 3 and 4 now, okay. So if I just run this in searched 3, give the admin credentials, okay. So this is this is done. Now let us try to see whether searched 3 has been joined or not. If you see, searched 3 now joined the team. So similarly, searched 4 also, we will run the same command. Okay, we will log in there. Okay, and just try to see searched 4 joined the team or not. Even searched 4 also joined the team over here, right? So that means we have configured this whole cluster statically. Okay, now as most of the as all of these searched cluster members is regained their own state over here, right? So that means now this is the time we should move from a static captain to a dynamic captain now. Okay, we will see now how to do that one. Now to configure, to move from this static captain to a dynamic captain and feature, right, what we need to do is first we'll just clear the prompt. Okay, now what we need to do over here is we have to tell each and every member, like, now this is the time we should go for a dynamic captain election process. Okay, so we'll run similar kind of command, Splunk edit sh cluster config. Okay, Splunk edit sh cluster config. Now you will say election equals to true. Okay, which will basically tell us like this is a dynamic captain, right? Okay, before that I just remember one thing which I need to show to you. Okay, if I just run this Splunk sh cluster status, right, if you see this dynamic captain is equals to 0, that means this cluster is configured with the static captaincy. Okay, I just wanted to show you this one. Okay, now let us try to configure the dynamic captaincy over here. Splunk edit sh cluster config. Okay, sh cluster config, our election will be true now, right? And we have to give the management URI over here. Okay, so mgmt underscore URI, this is the current searched that external IP address, and the management port you have to give over here. So as we are in searched 1 now, right? So what I'll do, I will copy the external IP of that searched 1 over here. Okay, so I'll copy that one. I'll go to searched 1 https:// I'll paste that IP address :8089 over here. Okay, so we have given election equals to true now. Now this particular member, right, this particular member will be participating in a election now, dynamic election process. Now we have to restart the Splunk once. We will do a Splunk restart over here. Okay, so let us try to do the same stuff in other Splunk instances as well, in our other searches as well. Okay, I'll just copy that guy over here. Now let us do the same stuff for other members as well. Okay, so we will just change the external IP here. Okay, so this is for our searched 2. So I'll just do this one as Splunk restart is required here. So I'll just run it and do it. Okay, so for searched 2 also we ran the same stuff. Okay, so we'll just Splunk restart once. Okay, now again for the searched 3 we have to do it, right? So let us copy the searched 3 external IP here. So we copied that one, pasted that one. Let us try to run this one as well in our searched 3. This is our searched 3. I will clear the prompt. I will run this command. Okay, we will restart the Splunk once. We'll restart the Splunk once. Now similar thing we have to do it for searched 4 as well, right? So we will copy the external IP of that searched 4 here, paste it over here and run this command. Okay, in our searched 4, clear shift insert, run it. Okay, so you will restart the Splunk once here. Okay, we will come back after Splunk restart completed in all of these instances. Okay, for all members now the Splunk restart happens. Now let us see one thing over here, whether after doing that dynamic election configuration, whether our cluster is functioning or not. Okay, so if I just see Splunk show sh cluster config, sh cluster status. Okay, so if you see it over here, encountered some errors while trying to obtain the sh cluster status, because previously those nodes were configured as a static captaincy over there. Right now I just moved them to the dynamic captaincy, but for that a captain election should be occurring over here, right? So that means until unless it will not happen, because this is something like the first time you are configuring a searched cluster, right? You have to bootstrap a particular member as a captain over there, right? So that is what we will do now. Okay, so the command is, let's say we will try to do the searched cluster 3 now. Let's say 3 will be our new captain now. Okay, so for that what we will do, /splunk bootstrap, okay, sh cluster captain. Okay, so bootstrap so basically what we are doing it over here, we are basically electing searched 3 as a dynamic captain. Okay, this is the first time when you are configuring a cluster, right? You have to do it, you have to bootstrap the captain. Next time onwards it will be automatically handled by Splunk, right? So let us try to do that one. Okay, so Splunk bootstrap sh cluster captain, then you have to give the servers list over here, right? Servers list here. So basically you have to give all the members list over here, right, including this particular captain. So I'll just copy these guys here. Okay, so this one comma this one, this is our searched 2 here, so this will be our searched 3 here. So here in searched 3 insert, and we have to give our searched 4 as well over there, right? So let us try to give that one. Okay, so we have given this one now. Okay, server list is not supported by this handler, servers underscore list, again the famous one, servers underscore list here. Okay, so I think it is basically, if you see, it successfully bootstrapped this particular node as a captain with the given servers, right? So if I just now run the Splunk show sh cluster status now, ideally my cluster should be functioning now. If you see, with our searched 3, just now we bootstrapped as a captain with of this cluster over here, right? And all other members already joined, because all of them we have configured this as a dynamically elected captain, right? Now the same cycle goes on. If something goes down, again this particular cluster will be electing as a new captain, because now it is a dynamic captain over there, right? So hopefully this video is helpful. See you in next video.